Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and across your local social media. It's your home for your news from your local community television station. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Plenty of places you can join us each and every day. We mentioned on Civic Center TV. That is on Comcast Channel 15, as well as on AT&T Channel 99. You can also find us on our website on civiccentertv.com in high definition. Click on our Watch Live link or watch us in the small player that's right there in front of your face on the homepage at civiccentertv.com. In addition, you can find us on Facebook on facebook.com/civiccentertv15, and we welcome you joining us this morning as well on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District. You can also find us on YouTube each and every day, live and on demand, by searching Civic Center TV on YouTube at Civic Center TV, or search Greater West Bloomfield Civic Center TV to pull up our channel, watch us live, and watch all of our programming dating back several years all across the local community. In addition, you can always listen to The Splash Live and all of our original programming from Civic Center TV on 89.3 Lakes FM. Dayan, Thursday bringing us even more storm activity, even more severe in that way than it was on Wednesday, and the outlook today still a little bit less sunny than we would expect, but much more temperate than it's been over the past 2 days.
It's definitely a lot better than the last 2 days. We are going to still have some partly cloudy skies throughout the day today, possibly just a little bit of rain at the evening, and we're looking at a highs of 78 and lows of 65, but definitely no thunderstorms for today or tomorrow. Going into Saturday as well, there is going to be partly cloudy skies with highs of 72 and 56. But luckily for us, on Sunday, a beautiful Sunday morning with the highs of 72. It's mostly clear, and we're going to experience 51 degrees later that night. So I think, Tyler, it's still going to be better than the last 2 days. Not much thunderstorms and not much rain. So we're going to take a little short break and enjoy this weekend.
Yeah, taking a break from the severe weather and enjoying some sun to wrap up our week on Sunday, which is also going to be nice and cool and temperate outside. So a beautiful weekend ahead. As we talk about the last couple of days, severe weather pounding southeastern Michigan on Thursday night, power outages, flooding, severe winds, and more affecting our local area. We'll give a full report on that and take a look at the power outage situation in our 4 communities in Greater West Bloomfield. The West Bloomfield Police Department is looking to hire a new police officer. You have until Monday to apply. We'll give you the details on that. West Bloomfield School District staff and leadership are ready to go back to the classroom on Monday. They launched with a celebration on Friday, the school year, with last-minute professional development. We'll talk about that and get ready for what the school year. In addition, the West Bloomfield Lakers kicking off their season last night at the Xenith Prep Kickoff Classic. We'll give you the results. We'll show you some highlights, and Matt Catoni and I, your Laker broadcast team, will review the game. Plus, as we head back to school, it's time to focus on back-to-school safety. James Pettinato, a crime prevention officer with the West Bloomfield Police Department, will join us in studio to help you get prepared to bring your kids back to the bus stop and back to school on Monday in West Bloomfield and across the community over the next couple of weeks. Then over the weekend, the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library will hold their used book sale. The Friendship Circle will be holding their Walk for Friendship, and they're still looking for volunteers. We'll tell you how you can tap into those opportunities and help out at a really fun event over the weekend. Plus, music in Sylvan Lake at the Sil Sunsets concert series happening on Sunday. We'll give you the when and the where of that particular concert. Then looking forward, the West Bloomfield School District bringing back Family Fun Night for the 12th annual year. We'll give you all the details on the fun happening there. Oakland County Parks and Recreation is celebrating National Pet Day with free entry in select parks. Dayan Chaaban will give you the details on that. And then information on our friends in Lake Orion holding a really fun event as well. The Dragon on the Lake Festival in downtown Lake Orion coming very soon. We'll give you all the details on that as you're traveling throughout Oakland County looking for some fun this weekend and in the coming weeks. All of that and more coming up on the Splash Live today. It is your home for your news from your community television station. We'll be back after this short break. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Ronnie started doing prescription pills at the age of 15, and by 19, he died. If your child is struggling with drug use, try not to be too proud to reach out for help. Don't be worried about what the neighbor will think or your family. Just get your child the help they need. Sometimes it's the hard road to take, but the hard road is nothing compared to living with the fact that your child is no longer with you.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiver.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. We're here on Civic Center TV on 89.3 Lakes FM and across local social media in the Greater West Bloomfield community. It is your home for stories from your community television station each and every day. And of course, you can always keep up to date with us on civiccentertv.com. Severe weather rolling through our area, really the entirety of lower Michigan on Thursday night, but hitting particularly hard here in Oakland County, with a meteorologist referring to the weather activity last night across southeastern Michigan as being quote-unquote tornadic thunderstorm activity. It featured torrential downpours, high winds upwards of 70 miles per hour in select areas, and 3 tornado warnings across the southeastern Michigan region, plus more power outages and even some hazards on the highways near Williamston, where cars flipped over on I-96 during the peak of the storm. Taking a look at the power outage map in the Greater West Bloomfield community. This is from the DTE power outage map, which you can also access yourself on outage.dteenergy.com. A select number of power outages spread throughout the township. Yesterday, a similar case in the West Bloomfield area. If we take a look, some of the more severe areas of outages in West Bloomfield are right around Inkster and Walnut Lake Road. There's a couple select areas there that have a large number of power outages. You're also seeing that in the neighborhood right behind the Crosswinds shopping mall. Ironically enough, the neighborhood I grew up in, losing power overnight. About 89 customers are out of power at this time in that area. That's right around in between Lone Pine and Long Lake Road in West Bloomfield Township. Includes the majority of the western part of McNichol Trail in that particular neighborhood, as well as down on some of the cross streets going down Iverness and going down McQueen Drive, including Normanwood, Hutchins Hill, and Tyrconnell, out of power at this time. It does not have any indication that is affecting Crosswinds Shopping Mall, including the Secretary of State and Kroger, CVS, and others in that complex. But that is one of the areas where power outages are taking place at this time. Some smaller, more isolated power outages, fewer than 5 just down the road from us. at Civic Center TV in the neighborhoods across the street between Walnut Lake Road and Maple Road in West Bloomfield Township. In terms of the lakes area, Keego Harbor and Sylvan Lake, not too heavily affected at this time by power outages. There are isolated power outages in Sylvan Lake, right around the Orchard Lake and M24 or Telegraph Road area. About 16 power outages marked now on Maplewood Street in Sylvan Lake. And again, you can find more information on these power outages by simply keeping up to date with the DTE outage map, outage.dteenergy.com. And you can select map, you can put in your zip code for more information. Right now, DTE Energy reporting about 90% of its customers do have power. But today, 222,187 at the time that we are doing this broadcast live are either without power or have their power interrupted as service is being done to the power infrastructure in our local area. That is not necessarily as bad as it's been in several other areas south of us. In particular, a lot of significant power outage activity in between Farmington and Farmington Hills. Several pockets of 10,000 people or 5,000 people out of power in our local area. And even as we travel a little bit further south near the Detroit area, several pockets of 1,000 or more people out of power in our local area as we head down toward the city of Detroit. But if we zoom out, Calvin, to kind of see the southeastern Michigan, Detroit area and areas of the thumb, it is looking like most of the significant power outage activity is in Oakland County and in Wayne County, a little bit spreading out to the west into the Ann Arbor area and near Lansing in the capital, but some isolated pockets up in the thumb. Other than that, really, a lot of these power outages are isolated to southeastern Michigan within the DTE umbrella at this time after storm activity happening last night all across our local area. Diane, it was definitely severe storms, lightning abundant, the winds were very high and knocking down a lot of tree branches. Many roads did close overnight in West Bloomfield and then later on were reopened over the course of the night and into the morning. And that was a similar case in many areas of Oakland County and across southeastern Michigan.
That is true, Tyler. There was unfortunately a lot of negative implications out of this thunderstorm. But thankfully in Oakland County, it was so much better than what we've seen in other places. I mean, I've seen some videos in Wayne County of cars submerged and houses with their backyards. It looks like a total pool, Tyler. So thankfully, it's not as bad as other counties. We hope that everybody is safe. Thankfully, there is no people are safe. It's just power outages and some substantial damages, but nevertheless, people are still safe. Hopefully, DTE is working on getting back people's power, and all we can say is I hope it gets better. As we said earlier, the weather is going to get better this weekend, so I hope everybody recovers as fast and as soon as possible from the thunderstorms.
Yeah, crews from DTE and Consumers Energy working around the clock to restore power in our local area. And we mentioned some of the other severe outcomes that came from last night, cars flipping over, multiple cars flipping over on I-96 around Williamston. That's in between Fowlerville and Lansing heading west on 96, part of the severe weather activity that came through last night. And certainly our thoughts are with people who are either out of power, have accumulated storm damage, or are in tough situations this morning getting into work. You think about, as Diane said, some of those areas near the city of Detroit, going down M10 and other major thoroughfares that often do get flooded when there's this severe weather that comes through, in particular, a swath of rain falling in our local area. Be safe out on the roads today. Be mindful. If you see sitting water, avoid it. Don't drive through it. You don't know how deep that water is. And if you get stuck, that's a very dangerous spot for you to be in, especially if there are down power lines nearby. That could be a very hazardous situation. And on that note, if you do see a downed power line, call DTE or call 911. Do not come in contact with that downed power line, stay away from that. If you encounter it, maybe you run over it in your car. Stay in your vehicle until emergency services are able to help you out of that current situation. So our thoughts with everyone and hoping everyone stays safe on this Friday in Greater West Bloomfield. In West Bloomfield Township, the police department looking to add to its ranks with a new officer. They are hiring a new officer with a pay range of just over $51,600 for Academy-sponsored officers, $56,800 to start for those that have graduated the Academy, and after several years, top pay scale upwards of $82,000 if you have a lot of experience already in public safety coming into this job. You can apply for this new position on wbtownship.org. And you have until Monday to do so. Here are some of the things that come along, some of the amenities with this job. Benefits including a pension, Blue Cross Blue Shield, PPO insurance, 11 to 25 days of vacation per year, as well as 13 paid holidays and 3 personal days. In addition, overtime pay and more. You have just a little while to apply still for this job. Have until September until you need to apply. As that is the deadline for these jobs. They're also hiring for a police dispatcher, a public safety dispatcher. That job is also listed on wbtownship.org. That is the job you have until Monday to apply for. So if you're looking to potentially become a police and fire dispatcher in West Bloomfield Township and in the Tri-Cities, here is your opportunity. You have until Monday. And Dayan, a great way for people to give back to our local community by being a dispatcher, or if they're looking for a new job, a great department to work with the West Bloomfield Police Department.
That is true, Tyler. So apart from all the materialistic rewards that comes with this job, there are also some other rewards. It's changing lives. It's helping out your community members to stay safe. I've watched a story, and I'm sorry I'm taking a little out of your time. I watched a story yesterday of this young kid who recently turned 18 and went back to the police officer who saved his life 20 years later. I mean, how rewarding is that career? That is definitely one of the most amazing job opportunities anybody can have if they are willing to do that, if they have the enough compassion. Apart from all the materialistic rewards that comes with it, it's an amazing opportunity. So whoever feels like they are competent enough, they can apply, again, as you said, Tyler, until Monday.
More information on wbtownship.org, and that's also where you will apply for this job, wbtownship.org. Just down the road a little ways at West Bloomfield High School yesterday, the West Bloomfield School District staff as well as administrators kicked off the school year with a fun day, bringing the staff back into West Bloomfield High School, getting them all pumped up for Monday's first day of school, as well as providing some professional development in the final days before they head to the classroom. School professional development team found on WBSD.org. And of course, again, we welcome our friends from the West Bloomfield School District joining us today on the West Bloomfield School District Facebook page for today's edition of the Splash Live. We'll take a break on the Splash Live, and on the other side, we'll stay in the West Bloomfield School District, but head from the classroom to the gridiron. The West Bloomfield Lakers football team kicking off their season last night against Clinton Township Chippewa Valley. Matt Catoni and I will discuss the game, give you full analysis, and show you some highlights coming up after this break. It's your home for your news from your local community television station on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and across social media. It's your home for your news from your local community television station. I'm Tyler Kieft, alongside Dayan Chaaban, our whole team on the broadcast today on this Friday in Greater West Bloomfield, and the day after the kickoff of the West Bloomfield Lakers high school football team's regular season. Matt Catoni, our color commentator and sports reporter with Civic Center TV, joins me now to talk about tonight's game. Matt, we'll get to our analysis in just a little bit, but first we have highlights from last night's game. Let's take a look at the Lakers' first performance against Chippewa Valley. The Lakers coming in ranked number 2 in the preseason rankings by State Champs Network, with the Big Reds in the middle of the pack at 16, looking to make an early jump on a D1 contender. The L-Boys and Big Reds sharing blows for the first 6 minutes. Then it's senior quarterback Andrew Schuster flipping it to Jordan Byers for the first down and more. That set up a quick dash into pay dirt for Cash Shaw for the opening score. Big Reds up 7-0. But here come the Lakers with a couple minutes left in the first. Rick Nance out to Elijah Durham with the catch and the yaction, advancing the ball all the way down to the 2-yard line, where Brody Pecor would power it in to even the score at 7. Elijah Durham wasn't done, though. A few minutes later, his senior quarterback Rick Nance calls his final cannonball of the summer, striking Durham for a 35-yard tutty and an L-Boys lead. But the Big Reds fighting back. The Lakers take over with about 4 minutes in the half, and on second down, Rick Nance floats like a butterfly but stings like a bee, intercepted by Preston Roberts. That sets up the final drive of the half, complete with a 2-yard cha-ching for senior Cash Shaw. Lakers and Big Reds tied at 14 at the end of the half. Chippewa Valley and WB each holding themselves back in the third quarter. No scores and penalties throughout leaves it tied at 14 going into the fourth. Then the Reds, holding the ball throughout most of the fourth quarter, got it down to just a few remaining. First and goal, and a huge stop for the Lakers at their 1-yard line. Then second and goal, 1 yard from the score, but Nigel Dunton says no way, drawing the Reds back to the 3-yard line. Third and goal, however, Andrew Schuster coming up big, the southpaw connecting for the lead with Deshaun Lanier. Lakers down 7 with about 3 minutes to go. The Lakers get a short kickoff, but a penalty sets them back in their own territory with only 2 timeouts remaining. Lakers move the chains, and then Rick Nance moves the needle through the thread, sneaking one to Marquise Morris, putting the Lakers in Big Reds country with under a minute to go. Then clock rolling and a big play for the Lakers. Here's the call. Nance takes the snap, looking, rolls out to his left, launches in the end zone and caught. Touchdown, WB! That is Nigel Dunton, the transfer from Southfield A&T, puts the Lakers within 1 point of tying up this game. On the game-tying PAT, Coach Helbers reaches into his bag of tricks and calls his final timeout. That sets up a 2-point conversion attempt that goes to Brandon Davis Swain, and the Punisher delivers his first punishment of the season, punching in the game-winning score. Lakers 22, Big Reds 21. Night, a back and forth matchup. The defense is definitely on display for these two teams, man, and that's what really jumped off at first when we were watching this game together. We did a run through ourselves with our Civic Center TV team. That was not a live broadcast from our team last night, but that's what we were seeing. Two defenses that really were going toe to toe and stifling those offenses, although those both teams able to get some bit of a jump on certain drives on their other team's defense.
Yeah, at the start of the game, I really thought at first, both teams after their first or second drive started to really move the ball and scored back-to-back touchdowns. I thought it's just going to be a high-scoring matchup, but then just as quickly as the offense came, really disappeared in most of the second half, as we saw what I honestly expected from the Lakers defense to begin the game. Just dominate their side of the ball and just really keep games low scoring and manageable for the offense.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on the offensive side of the ball is the relationship between Rick Nance and Elijah Durham. That seemed like a very dynamic duo last night throughout the majority of the football game. Tons of chunk plays, including a 35-yard touchdown to Elijah Durham in the second quarter to put the Lakers up in the lead by a score of 14-7 following the PAT. But that relationship definitely seeming like there's a lot of chemistry there, and that could be dangerous for opposing defenses all season long.
Yeah, it really stood out how often that Nance just was willing to load up and go downfield to Durham. It seems like they have a lot of chemistry together, and that's something to pay attention to later on in the season. How often and just really him and Durham are able to hook up and put points up on the board.
Yeah, Rick Nance was really impressive last night. 14 for 21 for 248 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, including an 83-yard final drive in that last 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And for the most part, making really great decisions and some very impressive passes. But credit to that receiving core, too. A younger receiving core this year coming back, and guys down the depth chart a little bit, like Marquise Morris also having a big game.
Yeah. You saw Nigel Dunton also step up in the end and make some very timely receptions, but also Nance did a good job of also shouldering a lot of the responsibility in the run game. He had some good runs, but also just runs that kept drives going, just picked up a little of the yards that were not necessarily a lot available to him, but he just picked up what was there and kept the ball moving forward.
Yeah, and the run game, a little bit stifled for the Lakers. That's more of a credit to the defensive line, that defensive front of the Chippewa Valley Big Reds in this game, because when we saw passing plays come into play, a younger offensive line was a concern going into the season. It's something that I expressed as a concern, was a younger offensive line, but making great pockets for Rick Nance and able to set him up to be able to make quick decisions or make long-term decisions and go down the field. And that set up those opportunities with guys like Elijah Durham and Jaden Allos and Marquise Morris making big plays all throughout the ball game. But we can't talk about this Lakers team without the performance of that defense as well. The secondary excellent throughout the night, with multiple shutdowns in the passing game from Jameer Benjamin and Bryce Rowe, both of whom are going to D1 schools next fall.
Yeah, the Lakers defense last night was incredibly dominant. The only thing that they really need to clean up on is just finishing tackles. There were occasionally times that they were arm tackling, and then runs just got extended to the second level, whereas if they clean that up later on in the season, a lot of runs won't be getting past the line of scrimmage. But I feel that the linebackers, Kari Jackson and Pecor, both had just tremendous games. They were in on almost every single tackle, and it was nice to watch them swarm the ball.
Yeah, supporting tackles, too, coming throughout the game from Bryce Rowe in the secondary. Nigel Dunton also having a big game, making that big stop down inside the 5 on 2nd and goal that set back the Big Reds to their 6-yard line, but with forward progress to their 3-yard line instead of the 1. Ultimately, they scored, but those kinds of impact plays, huge for the Lakers last night, and then breaking into contain, too. That linebacking core, we were really focusing on the 2 D1 recruits in Kari Jackson and in Montel Johnson heading to Penn State and Rutgers, respectively, but Brody Pecor also having a big game on the defensive side, and a positive for the Lakers, who once again seem like they have a 3-headed monster at the linebacker position.
Yeah, again, we spoke earlier in a lot of the offseason about how there's a lot of experience on this Lakers defense, and that's what really shined through last night. The moment was never really too big for them. They've been in a lot of big situations, a lot bigger than last night for sure. So they remained calm, and they didn't stutter step whatsoever, and the defense came up big in the end.
And what was also impressive was the coaching staff staying on their players preaching discipline throughout the game. In fact, in the second half, something we saw pretty unconventional in a close game like this, senior head coach in West Bloomfield, that's Zach Hilbers, in his first season at the helm after 17 years as an assistant and previously being a quarterback for the Lakers before he graduated from WB in 2003. Using a timeout early on, we had talked in our run through in our mock broadcast just internally with our team about perhaps that being a factor later on in the game, but also showing some guts late in the ball game as the Lakers were able to tie the game up with less than 30 seconds to play, and ultimately not going for the PAT to tie the ball game up, but going for 2 and using that final timeout to negate the PAT setup.
Yeah, and really that was just such a great gutsy call. Ultimately gets you the win, so it looks better no matter what. But what I like most about that goal line stand at the end with the 2-point conversion is that he even got Chippewa Valley to take one of their last 2 timeouts, which severely impacted their play calling on their last drive when they were hoping to even just maybe get into field goal range for just a last second, Hail Mary field goal attempt. So not having that last timeout was just ended up being a wonderful bonus in that situation by Hilbers.
The youth of this team was something that had been brought up, particularly looking at the offense, but also something that was brought up in the special teams core and my discussions with Coach Hilber going into this season, wanting to emphasize limiting mistakes, executing to a T on each and every play, and using that immense talent that they have to set themselves up for really great plays. And part of that effort is putting some of those veteran players back on the field that maybe are usually just solely defensive players to go between the defense and special teams, like Bryce Rowe, who in the previous season had also been a punt returner and a kick returner for the Lakers. This time seeing some of those players on offense. We saw Jameer Benjamin, of course, Brandon Davis-Swain getting a lot of reps at the tight end, including that 2-point conversion that sealed the victory for the Lakers last night, also adding kind of a new wrinkle to this offense that we often have seen in the past be added later on in the season under the Bellamy and Grice administration, continuing on under Coach Hilbers.
Yeah, the Lakers are obviously going to have to deal with some offensive hiccups, replacing guys like Samaj Morgan, who just played such a key role for the offense last year. But Hilbers also spoke tremendously on a media day about how they're just going to try and get their best players in and just put them where they're going to help them. And if that just means getting them the ball, like we saw with Brandon Davis-Swain last night in the 2-point conversion, that's what it's going to mean. And that's something that I think a really, commendable quality, because at the end of the day, you want your best players with the ball.
Yeah, toughness, resilience, playing smart, and being strategic in how they moved up the field, particularly in that late game situation. That's why you schedule a game like Chippewa Valley for week number 1. You want to challenge your team early. You want to emphasize execution and discipline, and that's exactly what the Lakers did on Thursday night. Matt, your final thoughts from the first game as we head into week 2 next week. Also a Thursday matchup on the road at Birmingham Groves.
Yeah, another good test for the Lakers right here, but I think they'll be up for the challenge. The defense looked very stout, and the offense looked more in rhythm as the game went on. I think that it's going to be another one for the Lakers.
Yeah, looking like it's going to be a challenging early season for the Lakers, but that's always been proven in the past to be something that benefits them later on as they get into that OAA Red Division schedule, opening their OAA Red schedule at home against Stony Creek, and then back-to-back matchups going up against the power teams of the OAA Red Division with Clarkston, Lake Orion, Oxford, and others. And Rochester Adams and others also playing the Lakers both at home and on the road, back to back. The middle of that schedule very packed. So these early games going to be huge in making sure this team is ready for that tough competition later on in the season. Matt, thanks as always.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You can always watch Civic Center TV for your Laker coverage all throughout the season. We'll have next week's game live for you on Civic Center TV from Birmingham Groves. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Our coverage will begin between 6 o'clock and 6:30 on Civic Center TV on 89.3 Lakes FM, as well as on the Facebook pages of Civic Center TV and of the West Bloomfield School District. We'll take a short break on the Splash Live on 89.3 Lakes FM, Civic Center TV, and across social media. And then on the other side, more news about your stories from your hometown TV station coming up. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Back to The Splash Live on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and across social media. It's your home for your news from your local community television station. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. School begins in the coming weeks for districts all throughout the greater West Bloomfield School District, including on Monday, August 28th in the West Bloomfield School District, which covers the majority of our 4 communities. As we get ready to send our kids back to the classroom, we want to be making sure that they are safe both on their way to school, at school, and on their way home, making that round trip as safe as possible. Joining us now is an expert on public safety, James Pettinato, an officer with the West Bloomfield Township Police Department, the crime prevention officer, joins us now from in our studio. Officer Pettinato, thank you so much for joining us today.
Morning, Tyler.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this issue because it's really important that we work with our kids and work with our community to get ready for going back to school on Monday and making sure that that is a smooth transition for our kids as they head back to the classroom.
Absolutely. We have tips for parents and the students and also the drivers. We want everyone to be vigilant and be safe this season, the school season.
And there's a lot to think about when we think about back to school safety. It's not just necessarily getting your kids to the bus stop, but there's a lot to consider at the bus stop. There's a lot to consider based on different modes of transportation that your kids may be taking to go to school. So let's start with those that are going to the bus stop on Monday in the West Bloomfield School District and in the coming weeks in our other local school districts. What should parents and kids both be considering as they head out to the bus stop?
We want them to consider walking on the sidewalk if they can, wearing reflective or bright colored clothing because it is going to be dark in the mornings pretty soon. We want them to, if they're riding a bike, wear a helmet. And we want parents to walk them and guide them through at least the first couple weeks of the school season, getting on the bus, making sure their backpacks don't weigh more than 5 to 10% of their body weight, because when you're wearing much heavier, you're kind of restricted. You can't turn as quick, things like that. When they're loading onto the bus, use a handrail. When they're exiting, they want to keep eye contact with the bus driver when they're going off. If they have to cross the road, we want them at least 10 feet in front of the bus. So that's, for a lot of kids, that's going to be 5 big steps. And we want them to have eye contact with the driver and look both ways before they cross the road. Yeah, there's plenty tips for the kids. We did put these on our Facebook just this morning. So we have a checklist on there for parents and kids.
Yeah, that can be found on facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. Those tips being posted both this morning, as well as previously with a long list of tips and a link to a website from the National Safety Council that goes through kind of each one of these categories. And Officer Pettinato joining us from the West Bloomfield Township Police Department as we talk about public safety, particularly school safety, heading back to the classroom, getting our kids to the classroom safely, getting our kids back home from the classroom safety, and what you want to consider as you are driving your kids to school, as maybe your kids are driving to school for the first time, or for those kindergarten students and those really young students that may be taking the bus for the first time, what they need to know as they go to the bus stop and as they prepare for their first day of school. And Officer Pettinato, this comes back to some of that advice that was given in a previous post, that for those that may be going to the bus stop for the first time, would you suggest that parents take that trip with their kids, or maybe even just do a run through? How could that be helpful in preventing some of these accidents that could pop up for kids on their way to the bus stop?
Yeah, we want parents to walk them through it, make sure they understand the traffic flow, that they have to be seen, that they need, because kids, they tend to get a little wild when they don't have instructions. So you really got to imprint it into them so they're safe all school season.
Officer James Pettinato joins us in studio. He is a crime prevention officer with the West Bloomfield Police Department. West Bloomfield School District going back to school on Monday, August 28th. Other school districts in our local area in the weeks after that, including the Bloomfield Hills School District, just 1 week later, also going back to school. In terms of bikers and drivers, some similar considerations also to be made, especially if they are driving to school for the first time. What should parents in particular be doing in terms of their discussions with kids, or other steps they can take to sort of track their kids driving if they're independently taking themselves to school for the first time?
Yes, we want them to slow down and make sure they're going to be driving through school zones also, right? So we want them to be extra vigilant, drive slow as there's cars parked. Kids might jump out in front of them. Kids can be unpredictable sometimes. So you really have to slow down, be extra vigilant. We want you to watch for the school buses, watch what they're doing, the lights overhead that may turn on. So if it's flashing yellow, that means it's going to stop. Be prepared to stop. If it's red, do not stop. If the stop sign comes out, stop. You must stop 30 feet, 30 or 20 feet from the school bus. Watch for kids. You want to basically be extra vigilant because you can't make a mistake this going to school.
More information can be found again on the West Bloomfield Police Department's Facebook page, facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. Lots of great advice as we discuss school safety as we head back to the classroom on Monday. Officer Pettinato, before we let you go, it's not just safety we need to be aware of on our way to the classroom and on our way home from the classroom, but especially in today's day and age, it's also important to have conversations with your kids about safety in the classroom and in the halls, what they should be looking out for. How do you suggest that parents approach that issue, and what should be some of those key points they're looking out for?
Yeah, basically, we want everybody to be safe this season. So in the classroom, you really have to make sure you just keep your eyes open, everything like that.
Yeah, it's the old, if you see something, say something.
Yes.
and always be on alert, not necessarily come to school scared or have to come to school looking for these issues, but it's a real issue we have in today's day and age. And so safety not only needs to be taken into account outside the classroom, but in the classroom as well. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. Officer Pettinato, thank you so much for joining us in studio today and helping us prepare to go back to class on Monday.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Officer James Pettinato, Crime Prevention Officer with the West Bloomfield Police Department. You can always find more information and keep up to date with their social media on Facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. A great place to go for more resources on public safety in the classroom and outside the classroom and all throughout our local community. Also a good idea to subscribe to Nixle for free for updates from the West Bloomfield Police Department and other public safety institutions all throughout West Bloomfield and our local communities. You can sign up for alerts, text and email for free by just submitting your zip code and search for that. NIXEL is the app that they use in that regard. We'll take a break on Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news show on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM and across social media this morning. More of your news from your local area on your local television station coming up after this break on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you.
I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
Pure is what you make of it. It's how the hustle of the cities can change the course of history. It's the beauty of the things we create on a canvas, on a plate, or stretched high above the sidewalk. It's a patch of green or a stretch of blue, right in the heart of downtown. It's the buzz of it all, or if you prefer, it's tuning it all out. Clear your schedule and pursue your Pure in Pure, Michigan.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So this weekend, the Friends of the West Bloomfield Township Library will be hosting their summer used book sale from August 25, so today, until August 27th. So today, it's going to be starting from 7 to 9 p.m. And on August 26th, tomorrow, it's going to be from 9 to 5. And on August 27th, it's going to be from 12 to 3 p.m. You can find more about this sale on wblib.org. So it's the West Bloomfield's Township Library's website, wblib.org. You can find more on the times. Again, it's starting today evening from 7 to 9 and through the weekend. Tyler, what a great opportunity to get all these amazing books from the West. Again, they're all on sale, and it's such a great opportunity to find all these amazing books, and having the West Bloomfield Library make some space for new donations and new books as well.
Yeah, that's a big factor in this is they have said that they're providing these great deals on these books, not just because they love reading and they want to encourage reading in our community, but they get so many donations, they go out and they bring in so many additional books all throughout the year. They have to clear their stock in order to have enough storage to bring those new titles into the library for you to check out or for you to buy at the Friend Shop and at other used book sales all throughout the year. So a great event to attend for book lovers in our community. Pick up some new reads at a discounted price and stock up for the fall. Get all the books that you need and support our local library in the process. You can also support another great community organization over the weekend at the Walk for Friendship event. That's through the Friendship Circle. Will begin on Sunday morning at the Farber Soul Center on Drake Road, just off of Walnut Lake Road. They'll walk up to the JCC and then over to the Mears Center for a celebration, but they're looking for your help to make this happen. Volunteer opportunities are available if you'd like to participate in this year's event. Help out our friends at the Friendship Circle, make this event happen, and make this another exciting weekend on what's going to be a beautiful Sunday in West Bloomfield Township. To participate, send an email to Randall@friendshipcircle.org for more information. Again, Randall@friendshipcircle.org. For information on volunteer opportunities. You can also go to their website at friendshipcircle.org. For information on making donations, if you cannot attend or you can't volunteer your time this weekend, this is their biggest fundraiser of the year. It is what plays the most pivotal role in the funding they receive in order to provide the programs to our special needs community and the outreach programs to the greater community as well through their locations in West Bloomfield, both at the Farber Soul Center, at the Mears Center, and all throughout the community in between, not just in greater West Bloomfield, but in the local area. Volunteer needs are in setup, food services, cleanup, and running activities on Sunday. And again, one more time, Randall@friendshipcircle.org is the person to send a message to find out more information. Then, after you go to the Walk for Friendship on Sunday, you can attend a concert in the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan. Sil Sunset's concert series continues on Sunday on Lakeview in Sylvan Lake. The concert begins at 6:30, featuring an artist that performs what is described as soulful country music. Has hailed from a small border town near Lake Huron and has been involved in some of the biggest acts in the music industry. A celebrity host and performer for the Hard Rock Cafe stages during the CMA Festival for many years, and also an active voting member in the Recording Academy that votes for the Grammy Award winners. In addition, you can support the Sil Sunsets concert series by making donations at these concerts, or maybe even your business could sponsor one of these concerts, such as what's happened with this weekend's concert, sponsored by a local gym, Sylvan Lake's Uplift Strength Center, the sponsor for this weekend's event. A great series that began as a grassroots effort and has now become a weekly or bi-weekly series all throughout the summer and into the fall in Sylvan Lake, providing entertainment on the streets. Also entertainment coming to West Bloomfield High School in the coming weeks. The first home game for the West Bloomfield Lakers is on Friday, September 8th. That is also when Family Fun Night will happen this season. Just a limited number of home games. So the first one is going to be where West Bloomfield High School and the school district host Family Fun Night. 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's fun and games opportunities to meet with your local community organizations, with businesses, with the branches of our military and our public safety as well, and then enjoy a football game. Students, you can get in for free by just simply wearing your West Bloomfield School District spirit wear. So whether you are a Chico Shark and you wear your Chico shirt, or you go to West Bloomfield High School and you wear a West Bloomfield High School spirit wear shirt, you will get into the game for free. And they will be selling spirit wear all throughout the week leading up to that at the Lakers store in West Bloomfield High School. And you can also get more information online on WBSD.org. Mark your calendars, Friday, September 8th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for Family Fun Night at West Bloomfield High School. We'll take one final break, and on the other side, we'll get news from outside the greater West Bloomfield community, some fun happening all throughout Oakland County. Dayan Chaaban will give us the latest after this break. Stay tuned. It's your home for your stories from your local community television station on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So, in honor of National Pet Day, visitors can now visit parks, Oakland County parks on August 26th, so it's happening this Saturday. You can take your dogs and enjoy exclusive entry and access to the scenic trails of at Leon Oaks Park, Orion Oaks Park, and Red Oaks Park. So again, it's dog parks at Leon Oaks Park, Orion Oaks Park, and Red Oaks Park. It's happening this August 26th. It's a great opportunity to take your amazing best friends to these parks and enjoy these amazing trails and dog parks. Another amazing event happening all over this weekend, starting today, is the 14th annual Dragon on the Lake Festival happening in downtown Lake Orion. So the Orion Art Center presenting its 14th annual Dragon on the Lake Festival. There's going to be dragon boats racing. That's very interesting. An art fair, a lot of music, a lot of fun activities for all the family members, tiki tent, and a lot more. Also, of course, food. Tyler, do you know that this event actually started as a prank in the mid-1800s and it's still ongoing to now? They made it into a festival. How incredible is that?
That's a great story, and it shows the history of our local area, and also how much fun our local area has had over the years, over the hundreds of years, really, with events like this and other events all throughout the local area. We love to have fun here in Oakland County, and plenty of opportunities to do so over the weekend with, of course, this festival, the annual Dragon on the Lakes Festival in downtown Lake Orion, and then also going back to what's happening in Oakland County parks in honor of National Pet Day, being able to bring your dog to these parks for free. And again, you can learn more on oakgov.com on that. Diana, are you going to be taking your pets out to any of these this weekend?
Definitely. I am definitely going to take my dog to the dog park to enjoy these trails. I am a hiker, Tyler. I do love the nature scene, and we do have a lot of beautiful nature scenes all over Oakland County and in West Bloomfield. So I am going to be there with my dog, and hopefully we are definitely going to enjoy this, both my dog and I, and the whole family probably.
Yeah, going to be a beautiful weekend this weekend in the greater West Bloomfield community. And as Diane said, great parks, not only in Oakland County, through Oakland County parks that are open for free entry with your pet this weekend at Lion Oaks Dog Park, Orion Oaks Dog Park, and Red Oaks Dog Park. But there's also dog park opportunities right here in West Bloomfield. WBparks.org is a great resource for that. And hey, look, sunny Sunday is ahead for us here. It's going to be in the 70s. It's going to be lower humidity. It's going to be bright and sunny all day. What a better opportunity if you're in the four communities or you're nearby to head out to Marshbank Park and take a walk around the park, or even Drake Sports Park, which has great scenery. It's very active, open fields for your dogs to play in, and specific dog park and dog play areas as well. So much to do over in our parks all throughout the local area. WBparks.org for more local information. Kegel Harbor and SylvanLake.org. You can find info on their parks and recreation activities all throughout the year. And of course, oakgov.com for all of that information on activities through Oakland County Parks and Recreation. Always thank you for being with us here on Civic Center TV on 89.3 Lakes FM and across social media for your hyper local news, all about your four communities and expanding out into Oakland County every single day during your work week. We invite you to join us every single day across our outlets, including staying with us on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV and on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15 as we provide you updates on everything going on with our programming and what's coming up in the local community. We always appreciate you tuning in. For more news from your home, your stories, and your community television station, stay with us right here on The Splash Live.